5-year-old woman presents to a physician reporting several episodes of headaches in the past 4 weeks that have affected her school performance. The episodes are getting progressively worse, and over-the-counter headache and migraine medication do not seem to help. She also mentions having to raise her head every time she looks at the board to take notes. She cannot simply glance up with just her eyes while facing her notes. She has no significant personal medical history or family history and was previously otherwise well. Ophthalmic examination reveals an upward gaze palsy, convergence retraction, nystagmus, and papillity. What structure is most likely to be affected by this third ventricle? Aqueduct of Sylvius, segmentum, corpora quadrigemina, and inferior colliculi. These are key words for them to tell you that this is superior colliculi being. Now, when you have superior colliculi being involved, we call them Parinot syndrome, or superior colliculi is towards, I think that's your back portion of your midbrain. That's the dorsal midbrain, and we also call it dorsal midbrain syndrome, if I'm not wrong. So this is usually where your pineal gland is, or pineal gland, however you pronounce it. And whenever you have a pinealoma or a we call pineal gland tumor, superior colliculi is what gets involved. And that's why patients are going to present with Parinot syndrome. Pineal gland tumor itself doesn't have any symptoms, depending on what cells of the pineal gland causes it. We have different cells in the pineal gland. If it is a germinoma or a germ cell tumor, it's going to secrete HCG and it's going to cause a lot of testosterone, causing precocious puberty in males, and a lot of testosterone may cause hirsutism and a lot of maybe like male-like fetus, right? So these kind of symptoms you may see when there is a germinoma in pineal gland. But if it's not a germ cell tumor, and if it's, let's say, an astrocyte or pinealocyte tumor, the symptoms are going to depend on the size of the tumor. Superior colliculi is outside of the pineal gland. It just sits right below it. When your pineal gland is too enlarged, it's going to cause compression of your superior colliculi, causing what we call Parinot syndrome or the dorsal midbrain syndrome. And if it's too large enough, it can also obstruct your aqueduct of Sylvius, which is the answer over here. Okay, and that's where because those kind of tumors, they are basically space occupying lesions. And when you block aqueduct of Sylvius, you're going to have dilation of your proximal ventricles, which are the lateral and third ventricles, causing obstructive hydrocephalus. And that's why these patients have papilledema, has headaches. Okay, so that's what signifies the symptoms basically. If you do CT or MRI, you will be able to see the pineal gland, you will be able to see the obstruction, you will also be able to see the dilated ventricles as well. Treatment is basically surgical, just to remove it. If it's a germ cell tumor, you may need to use a chemo or radiation, but depends on what cells are causing the tumor. So that's why the answer is B. Now, a third ventricle is just dilated. It's dilated because your aqueduct of Sylvius is obstructed. It itself is not involved in this whole syndrome, Parinot syndrome and pineal, and that's why that is not the answer. Tegmentum is the ventral portion. It is even it is in front of the aqueduct of Sylvius, the front part of the midbrain, not involved, right? Corpora quadrigemina is the whole dorsal diaphragm. It includes both superior and inferior colliculi. Pineal gland and superior colliculi are kind of near to each other. Inferior is kind of way too down to even be involved, and that's why upper part of corpora quadrigemina is involved and not the lower part, and that's why that's not the answer. It's like half correct and half incorrect. Inferior colliculus, as I mentioned, not involved. Inferior usually carries, I think it's involved in your auditory pathway, so your hearing would get impaired if that is.
Thanks for watching. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe for more.